Your mind has touched something it couldn't hold, a flash of clarity so total, so immediate that you pull back from it the way your hand pulls from a flame. That instinct to retreat from direct knowing is the very thing keeping you from the life you came here to live. By the end of this, you'll understand why the burning bush burns, and why learning to stand before it unconsumed is the single most transformative skill you'll ever develop. Moses was tending sheep, doing the mundane work of an ordinary day, and then something impossible caught his eye. A bush engulfed in fire that refused to turn to ash. The fire blazed. The branches held. Every law of nature said the wood should blacken, crumble, disappear. It stayed whole. That image has echoed through thousands of years because something in the human soul recognizes it immediately. You felt the heat of a truth that should have destroyed your old self. The question is whether you stayed in the fire or ran. Most people run. And the running looks like distraction, rationalization, sudden busyness, scrolling, arguing, sleeping, anything to avoid standing still in the presence of what they just glimpsed. Because direct knowing carries a quality that the ego interprets as annihilation. When you see clearly who you actually are, when the illusion of limitation drops for even a half second, the small self panics. It reads illumination as death, so it floods you with reasons to look away. The bush teaches something different. There exists a state where you burn with truth and remain whole, where the intensity of direct knowing passes through you the way light passes through glass, fully, completely without shattering what it moves through. Glass doesn't resist light. It also doesn't try to become light. It simply allows transmission. That allowing is the secret Moses stumbled upon in the wilderness. Consider what fire actually does. It transforms matter from one state to another. Wood becomes ash and smoke and heat. The substance changes form irreversibly. But the bush didn't change form. The fire was present, blazing, real, undeniable, and the structure remained intact. This is the anatomy of genuine spiritual awakening, as opposed to spiritual emergency. In awakening, truth illuminates the vessel without consuming it. In emergency, the vessel cracks because it tried to contain what was meant to pass through. You've experienced the emergency version. A sudden download of knowing about your relationship, your purpose, the nature of reality that hit so fast and so hard you couldn't integrate it. The weeks after felt like fragmentation. You questioned everything. Sleep vanished. The ground beneath your identity liquefied. That's the bush being consumed. That's what happens when awareness meets truth without the vessel being properly prepared. So how does the bush survive? What quality does it possess that allows fire to live inside it without destruction? Neville Goddard spoke of this as the distinction between identifying with the state and being identified by it. When truth arrives, and you grip it, when you try to own the revelation, make it yours. Build an identity around having seen what you saw. The fire consumes. You become the person who had the experience rather than the awareness in which the experience occurred. The grip is what burns. The clutching is what turns wood to ash. The unconsumed bush holds nothing. It doesn't possess the fire. It doesn't resist the fire. It exists in a condition of such complete openness that the fire has nothing to push against. No resistance means no friction. No friction means no destruction. The bush survives because it makes no claim on the flame. This maps precisely onto what happens in your own consciousness during moments of genuine insight. You're meditating, or walking, or half asleep, and suddenly the veil parts. You see your desired reality with absolute clarity. You feel the truth of it in every cell. For 3 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe 10, you are the person living that life. The knowing is total. Then what happens? You notice yourself knowing. You think, I'm doing it. And the observer collapses the observed. The fire finds something solid to burn and the moment is gone. The discipline of the burning bush is the discipline of staying transparent, letting truth illuminate without solidifying around it. Feeling the intensity of direct revelation without grabbing. This runs counter to everything manifestation culture teaches about claiming, declaring, and affirming with force. The bush doesn't claim the fire. The bush is available to the fire. There's a softness in that availability, a surrender that looks like passivity, but operates as the highest form of spiritual strength. Think about what Moses did when he saw it. He turned aside. The text says he turned aside to look. He didn't charge toward it. He didn't fall back in terror. He adjusted his attention, gently, curiously. He gave it his full presence without force. And only after he turned aside, only after he demonstrated that quality of open, unhurried attention, did the voice speak. Your revelations work the same way. The burning bush moments of your life, the sudden knowing of what you're meant to create, the flash of your true identity, the unmistakable sense of a reality trying to be born through you, they respond to the quality of your attention, charge at them, and they retreat. Ignore them and they dim. Turn aside. Give them that Moses quality of gentle, undivided awareness, available, present, unhurried, ungripping. There's a practical dimension to this that changes your daily inner work. When you enter your meditation, your visualization, your state akin to sleep, you're approaching the bush. The fire of your desired reality is already burning, already real, already present in consciousness. Your job is to stand before it without being consumed by doubt, without being consumed by excitement, without being consumed by the very intensity of how real it feels. The consumed version looks like this. You feel the reality so strongly that your body floods with adrenaline. Your mind starts planning how it'll happen. You open your eyes and immediately check for evidence. You just burned. The revelation ate you alive instead of illuminating you. The unconsumed version is quieter. You feel the reality. You let it be warm. You remain transparent to it. You don't grab and you don't push away. You stay in the fire with the calm of something that knows it cannot be destroyed by what it's made of. Because here is what the burning bush ultimately reveals. You are made of the same substance as the truth that illuminates you. Consciousness recognizing consciousness. Awareness beholding awareness. Fire meeting fire. And fire cannot consume itself. That's why the bush survives. The bush and the fire share a nature. They appear distinct. Plant and flame, separate categories, different substances. But in the deeper reality, the bush is the fire wearing a form. Consciousness is the truth it encounters in revelation. You are the state you're trying to assume. The sense of being consumed only arises when you believe yourself to be something other than what you're beholding. Otherness creates friction. Sameness allows transmission. When you finally grasp this, your entire relationship to spiritual intensity changes. You stop bracing for impact. You stop white-knuckling your way through revelations. You stop swinging between I felt God and I lost the feeling. The feeling didn't leave. You solidified around it and made yourself into something that could be burned. Then wondered why you felt scorched afterward. Moses removed his sandals. He was told the ground was holy. The sandals represent the buffer between you and direct contact. Every protective mechanism you've built between your awareness and raw truth, every story about why you can't handle the full download, every spiritual teacher's warning about going too slowly, every fear that seeing clearly will somehow break you. Those are sandals. And the instruction is clear. Remove them. Stand barefoot on the ground that burns. Discover that your feet are made of the same fire as the ground beneath them. Your burning bush is waiting in tonight's meditation. It's been burning since before you were born. The fire of your true self, your genuine identity, your God-given reality. It never went out. It never needed fuel. It never consumed the vessel that holds it, because the vessel and the flame were always one substance appearing as two. Stop protecting yourself from your own knowing. The revelation that feels too big, too real, too intense to sustain, that's the precise frequency you are built to carry. Turn aside. Remove the sandals and stand in the fire long enough to realize you've been burning your entire life without being consumed. The bush was never the miracle. Your ability to finally see it was.